A barefoot woman in rags shoves through a crowd. He wraps her arms around a billionaire and whispers, "You're my son." The cameras keep flashing. He freezes. The world shifts. Please subscribe to our channel. We're building a community where kindness is our most cherished and honored word. Back to our story. The sidewalk outside the luxury car dealership trembled with energy. A cherry-red supercar gleamed beneath the rising sun. Crowds swelled. Then he stepped out, 28 years old, sharp golden hair slicked back, flawless fair skin, charcoal designer suit sculpted to his form, eyes like ice. Nathan Brooks, self-made billionaire, foster system survivor, fintech mastermind. Reporters jostled. Influencers whispered. Photographers clicked non-stop. But before he could reach his car, a cry cracked the air. "My son!" He doesn't move, not even an inch. Her arms are shaking, bones poking through thin sleeves. "She smells like smoke and river water. They told me you died." Security lunges, but Nathan lifts one finger and they freeze. The cameras zoom in. His jaw tightens. "What did you just say?" he asks, eyes never leaving hers. The woman's voice cracks. "They told me the fire took you. They showed me a grave. I prayed over it every year." Her hands cling to his sleeve like it's the last rope before drowning. But I knew. I knew the moment I saw your eyes on TV. Those are my son's eyes." His pupils twitch just barely, but the world sees it. And suddenly everything he built begins to feel like borrowed time. He whispers, "My name is Nathan." She answers without blinking, "I named you Isaiah." A ripple moves through the crowd. Someone gasps. A reporter drops their mic. Nathan's breath fogs in the morning chill, but his chest burns. "That's not possible," he mutters. The woman shakes her head. "It was 1995. You were born during the storm that collapsed the west wing of our county general. No lights, no doctors, just me screaming your name into the dark." Her voice is brittle but certain. "I wrapped you in my coat. You had a birthmark on your shoulder. A tiny crescent moon." Nathan stiffens. That mark, it's hidden beneath his suit jacket. No one has ever seen it. Not even him. Not since he was a child. "You have a crescent moon on your shoulder," she says. "I kissed it every night until they took you." Nathan's pulse roars in his ears. His suit suddenly feels too tight. Slowly, almost unwillingly, he reaches up, slips his fingers beneath his collar and freezes. There it is, the birthmark, a perfect crescent. His heart stumbles. She couldn't have known. "Who are you?" he whispers, but he already knows. Security steps closer again, confused, waiting on a signal. "They tore you from me," the woman says, her voice cracking like glass. "I was 19. One mistake. 1 week without enough food. The state said I was unfit. I never even got to say goodbye." Her knees buckle. Nathan catches her. For the first time in his life, a crowd watches him, and he doesn't care. A camera flash goes off, and someone shouts, "She's a con artist." That's not his mother. The crowd shifts. Voices rise. Whispers spread like fire. A sharply dressed woman in a navy pantsuit steps forward, wagging her phone. "I've seen her downtown," she sneers. "Begging outside the pharmacy. This is a stunt. The paparazzi swarm." The woman, Nathan's maybe mother, pulls away, trembling. "I didn't come for money," she says, voice barely audible. "I came because I never stopped looking." Nathan stands between her and the chaos. "Enough," he says, louder than he's ever spoken in public. "Let her speak." But the tide is turning. Security hesitates. A reporter mutters, "CEO taken in by lunatic. This'll tank his stock." And somewhere in the crowd, a figure quietly watches, smiling. She pulls out a photograph, faded, bent, and torn. "This is you," she whispers. "I carried it every day." The photo trembles in her hands. A baby wrapped in a hospital blanket, eyes wide, with a small birthmark on his left shoulder. Nathan stares at it like a ghost just touched him. "That mark," he mutters. He rolls back his sleeve. Gasps ripple through the crowd. It's there, that same crescent-shaped birthmark near his collarbone. Silence falls. Even the reporters hold their breath. The woman clutches the picture. "You were taken from me." "I reported it. I searched, but no one believed me." Nathan's lips part, but no words come. And then, from behind the crowd, a slow, mocking clap. That man in the trench coat steps forward. Touching, he says. But lies always are. He points at her with a smirk. That woman's been in and out of psych wards. She says this every year. The crowd turns. Murmurs rise like smoke. The trench coat man pulls out a tablet, swiping to show files. 3 involuntary holds. Delusional episodes. Claims of a missing child with no hospital records to back her up. The woman's hands tremble. They erased him, she whispers. They paid to erase him. Nathan's eyes dart between the man, the tablet, and the photo still clutched in her hands. His heart hammers. Why would she know about the mark? He asks aloud. The man shrugs. Coincidence. Or maybe she saw you in the news and picked a detail. But then another voice pierces the crowd, shaky, male. I was there, the night she lost him. I was mopping the hallway when she screamed, the janitor says. And I saw the man in the white coat walk out with the baby. The crowd stills. The janitor steps forward, hands trembling. She wasn't crazy. They said the baby was stillborn. But I heard the cry. Then they told me to forget what I saw. Nathan's voice is low. What did the man look like? The janitor hesitates, then glances at the billionaire's head of security. He looked like him. Gasps ripple. The security chief's jaw tightens. He's lying, he snaps. But Nathan's world is spinning. The scar, the woman's eyes, the photo. And now this witness. Why would you speak now? Someone asks the janitor. His eyes fill with tears. Because last night I dreamed of the child. And he said, please don't let them bury me again. The barefoot boy steps forward, lifts his eyes to the billionaire and says softly, you were never supposed to die in that fire. Gasps echo. Nathan turns. The boy's eyes are deep, old, too knowing for his age. I remember the flames. I saw you pushed. The security chief lunges forward, furious. Get him away from here. But the boy doesn't flinch. He wasn't alone, he says, pointing to a woman in the crowd. Everyone turns. A nurse in scrubs turns pale, backing away. Don't listen to this. This is madness, she cries. But Nathan stares at the boy, whispering, what fire? The boy just lowers his gaze. The one where your name died. And someone else's rose in its place. Nathan grabs the boy's shoulders. Who are you? The boy replies, I'm the one they couldn't bury. And neither could you. The nurse bolts. But the boy's voice follows her like thunder. Tell them what you saw. Tell them what you did. The crowd erupts into chaos. Cameras flash. The nurse stumbles, knocking over a tray. A hidden recorder falls from her pocket. Gasps. A reporter snatches it. Rewinds, and the sound plays, inject him. Make it look like smoke inhalation. Nathan's knees buckle. That's my voice, he whispers. But the boy shakes his head. No, that's someone who wanted your life. The audio continues. A second voice, calm, familiar. He'll be gone in minutes. Prepare the new ID. Nathan turns white. It's his father's right-hand man. The boy steps closer, whispering, you weren't supposed to live. But someone prayed you would. That someone was Ava. In the sealed hospital room, Ava's tiny voice says, he sees everything. The lights flicker, and a shadow moves behind the glass. Security rushes to the room, but no one is inside. Ava sits cross-legged on the hospital bed, staring at the empty corner. He's not gone, she says softly. He just steps between places. The doctors exchange worried glances. One whispers, we sedated her last night. This isn't possible. But Ava turns toward the glass. Micah doesn't sleep. Suddenly, all the heart monitors in the ICU flash the same message. Wake up. In a nearby room, a child in a coma begins to stir. She's breathing, a nurse cries. Ava smiles. Micah found her. The billionaire, watching through the glass, asks, what is he? Ava answers without looking away. Not what, why? A nurse locks the ICU. The doors, but finds muddy barefoot, prints leading into a room no one entered. The head nurse checks the security footage, nothing. No movement, no entry. Yet the muddy prints trail from the hall into the coma wing. She follows them, her heart pounding, until they stop at the bed of a boy who hasn't moved in 7 years. His eyelids flutter. Is someone there? He whispers. She stumbles back, shouting for help. But when the staff rush in, the footprints are gone, wiped clean. The boy is sitting up now, blinking at the light. The barefoot boy said it's time to go home, he tells them. His mother collapses in sobs beside the bed. And across the hospital, Ava whispers through her oxygen mask, "Micah is choosing." Ava gasps awake at midnight and whispers, "Micah just gave another name." Her mother jolts upright in the hospital cot. "What name, Ava?" But Ava just looks at the ceiling, smiling. "He said Lucas, the boy with the blue truck." Her voice is calm, dreamy, like she's somewhere else. The nurses think it's a dream, until a call comes in from another hospital across town. A boy named Lucas, 8 years old, who's been unresponsive for months, just sat up and asked for juice. The nurse on the phone is crying. He said a barefoot boy told him, "It's not your time." Ava clutches her blanket, whispering, "Micah's almost done." A boy named Lucas opens his eyes in a different hospital and whispers, "Micah said my truck's still waiting." Lucas's mother drops her coffee. She hasn't heard her son speak in nearly a year. Nurses rush in, thinking it's a malfunction, but Lucas sits up, points to the window and smiles. "Micah said I can go now. He fixed it." On the windowsill lies a tiny blue toy truck, one no one remembers placing there. Security footage later shows nothing. No one entered. No one left. But outside, another parent swears they saw a barefoot boy in the parking lot vanish in the rain. Back at Ava's bedside, her heartbeat accelerates. "Micah's getting tired," she says. "But he's not done." Ava opens her eyes, stares at the ceiling and whispers, "He gave me his strength." Her lips are trembling. Her pulse is racing, but she's smiling. Doctors rush in, alarms blaring. They can't explain how a girl in a coma for weeks just woke up with full awareness and perfect vitals. She should be disoriented, one mutters. But Ava sits up calmly, then points to her left. "He was right here." "Who, sweetheart?" a nurse asks. "The barefoot boy, Micah." They exchange glances. The nurse's hand trembles slightly. She remembers a name from another case. A boy who never signed in. A boy no one could trace. Ava clutches her chest. He's helping the sad people, one by one. But it makes him tired. Ava turns her head to the window. "He's crying now," she whispers, "because someone just slammed a door in his face." The nurse freezes. "What door?" But Ava's eyes don't blink. She begins to describe a gray building, a red sign, a crying baby behind a counter. Miles away, a woman named Elena is screaming at a barefoot boy to leave her clinic. "We help real people," she says, unaware her own daughter has stopped breathing in the next room. Micah stands still, silent tears falling. Back in the hospital, Ava grips the nurse's wrist. "Please tell her to listen." He only knocks once. In a dusty alley behind a rural clinic, the barefoot boy places a small feather on the windowsill, and the baby inside starts to breathe again. Elena doesn't see it happen. She's too busy yelling at the receptionist, blaming her for the boy's presence. But when she storms into the back room, her daughter, whom she thought lifeless, is crying softly. Her knees buckle. What did he do?" Outside, Micah walks away silently. His eyes are red, his arms limp at his sides. Far away, Ava whispers, "He didn't leave her." Even when she told him to, the nurse shivers. "How do you know this?" "I don't know," Ava says, "but I feel him." When someone shuts him out, Ava wakes up gasping, clutching her chest. "Micah's in pain," she cries. "He's given too much." Dr. Ellison rushes in, alarmed. "Ava, what do you mean?" "He's not supposed to give this much," Ava says, her eyes wide with fear. "If he keeps going, he'll disappear." Meanwhile, miles away, Micah stumbles into a ditch beside the road. His knees bloodied, his breathing shallow. A stranger walks past him, pauses, then keeps going. The boy whispers, "Don't worry. Someone will stop next time." Back in the hospital, Ava whispers, "We have to find him before he's gone." A pickup truck screeches to a stop beside the ditch. A tattooed man steps out, kneels, and whispers, "You're the reason my wife's alive." Micah tries to lift his head but can barely see. The man cradles the boy's face, tears streaking his dusty cheeks. "You came to our trailer last week. My wife was dying. You touched her forehead. She's walking now." Micah winces. "It took more than I thought." The man carries him gently to the truck, whispering, "You're not dying on me, kid. Not after what you did." Ava, still in her hospital bed, suddenly smiles faintly. Someone found him. In a hospital bed miles away, Ava's eyes fly open. She gasps. Micah's hurt. Monitors beep wildly. Her mother drops the phone. Nurses rush in as Ava sits upright, her hands trembling. There's blood. He's bleeding. You have to help him. Her voice is urgent, not frightened, like she knows. Ava's mother stares, stunned. How do you know that? I saw it. I felt it. He's not safe. Back at the truck, the tattooed man drives fast, gripping the wheel. Micah's breathing is shallow, but a peaceful smile crosses his face. I'm glad she's awake, he whispers, then passes out again. The barefoot boy lies unconscious in the back seat, yet his palm glows faintly. The man driving doesn't see it, but something ancient has awakened. The tattooed man glances in the rearview mirror, panic rising. Stay with me, kid, he mutters. Don't you quit on me now. Micah doesn't move. His head rests against the window, but then a soft light pulses from his hand, golden and alive. It travels up his arm, fading before it reaches his heart. The man doesn't notice. He's too busy swerving past traffic. Meanwhile, in the hospital, Ava's eyes roll back. She whispers, he's giving it away. Ava's heart monitor flatlines, but her lips are moving. Nurses rush in, screaming for help. Yet her voice, barely audible, says one name, Micah. The ICU explodes into chaos. Nurses slam open drawers, reaching for adrenaline. A doctor yells, get the paddles! But Ava's mother stands frozen, because Ava's lips are still moving. No sound, just a whisper, Micah, Micah. And then her fingers twitch. A quiet gasp escapes her chest. And the monitor spikes again, sharp and erratic. The lead nurse stares in disbelief. She just brought herself back. No one can explain it, not yet. Her barefoot boy stands outside the ICU, eyes closed, lips moving like a prayer. Then he smiles, just as Ava gasps back to life inside. Micah never stepped inside. He stood by the window, hands pressed to the glass. His shirt clung to him with rain, yet he looked peaceful. His bare feet were caked in mud. And then he smiled. Inside, Ava sat upright, ripping off her mask. She coughed, then whispered again, Micah. Her mother collapsed to her knees. Doctors stared, speechless. One nurse rushed to the window, but the boy was gone. Only 2 small footprints remained in the puddle outside. An ICU nurse chases the barefoot boy down the hallway. But when she turns the corner, he's vanished. And not even the security footage can explain how. Nurse Danielle sprinted into the corridor. Her sneakers squeaked against the wet tiles. She called out, Hey! Wait, little boy, wait! But the hallway was empty. She turned the corner. Nothing. No exit, no open door. She radioed security. They replayed the cameras. At the moment he vanished, the footage glitched. Static. Then black. It's not possible, one guard whispered. Another added, that boy never showed up on any angle. The billionaire's daughter wakes up, screaming Micah's name, though no one told her who healed her. The heart monitor spiked. Ava's eyes flew open. She gasped, clutched her chest, and screamed, Micah, where's Micah? Doctors rushed in. Her father stumbled back, stunned. How do you know that name? He whispered. Ava looked around, trembling. He held my hand, she sobbed. He sang to me. He said I wasn't alone. Her father knelt beside her, shaken. No one ever told you his name. But Ava was certain. He was barefoot. He smiled with his eyes. Security rewinds the footage and sees no boy enter or exit the building. Her father demanded answers. He ordered the security chief to pull every frame. I want eyes on this Micah kid, he snapped. They rewound hours of hospital footage. From every entrance, every floor, every hallway. Nothing. No barefoot boy, no Micah. But, sir, the chief said, paling, your daughter was alone. There's no record of anyone entering. The father stared at the screen in disbelief. He sang to her. She said he touched her hand, but the tape showed silence, stillness. A girl unconscious, smiling in her sleep. Ava wakes up and draws Micah's face from memory, down to the scar on his temple. They bring Ava art supplies to help with therapy. She reaches for a charcoal pencil. Doesn't speak, doesn't blink, just draws. 20 minutes later, the nurse gasps. Her boy's face stares back from the page. Tangled curls, bare shoulders. and a faint scar over the left temple. Ava finally whispers, "He hummed a song I don't know, but it made the pain stop." She looks up, voice trembling. He was crying. Micah stands on a rooftop, staring at the same horizon Ava's hospital, window faces, murmuring her name like a prayer. Miles away, a barefoot boy stands alone on the edge of a rooftop. His eyes are closed. His lips move, but no sound escapes. Then he whispers, "Ava, it's not over." A sudden gust of wind tosses his shirt. He places a small wooden carving of a dove beside him. The same dove Ava keeps hidden under her pillow. He presses 2 fingers to his temple, right over the scar, and begins to cry without blinking. The air around him thickens. Streetlights flicker across the city below. He doesn't move. Ava bolts upright in her hospital bed at the exact moment. Micah whispers her name. Her monitors spike, her eyes wide, glowing with something no one can explain. Inside her hospital room, Ava jolts up. Her chest heaves like she's surfaced from deep water. Nurses rush in as machines beep wildly. But Ava's eyes aren't afraid. They're locked on the window, on the sky. "Micah," she whispers just once. A silence falls. The heart monitor steadies. One nurse drops a clipboard. Another stammers, "Did she just—" But Ava isn't listening. She slides her hand beneath her pillow and pulls out the wooden dove. Ava walks out of the hospital barefoot, holding Micah's wooden dove, while every doctor who said she'd never speak again stands speechless at the door. The next morning, the hospital is buzzing. Ava's door swings open. She steps out barefoot, eyes clear, the wooden dove tucked to her heart. Reporters gather. Doctors whisper. One murmurs, "She wasn't even supposed to wake up." Ava looks up at them, not angry, just knowing. Then she walks past them, through the lobby, into the sun. Her mother collapses in tears. Ava wraps her arms around her and softly says, for the first time in years, "Mommy, he healed my heart." Ava sat beneath a blooming cherry tree, the wooden dove resting in her lap. She traced the wings with her finger, whispering Micah's name. He was gone. No one ever found him. Some say he was a miracle. Some say he was never real. But Ava knew better. He came barefoot and left behind something no medical file could explain. Hope, healing, and the quiet proof that kindness can come from the most unexpected places. Why is it that we often ignore the ones who have nothing to offer us? Yet they're the ones most likely to offer what we truly need. Please subscribe to our channel. We're building a community where kindness is our most cherished and honored word. Turn on your notification bell so you don't miss the next story that could open your heart.